This is Messages from the Universe with Lori Wondra of Your Life Core. Here, Lori delivers information from the Mastery Realms related to astrology, planetary influences, energy surges, and generally how we are evolving. She connects with angels, guides, ascended masters, astro beings, and those that come forward with messages to help us on our journey. Welcome, everyone, to Messages from the Universe podcast.
Hello, I am Lori Wondra, and thank you for listening. Hello, November, Scorpio season, All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, presidential election in the United States, gateways of 11/11. All this energy is leading up to a powerful November and preparing us for the December time period and, of course, the winter solstice. Now, we don't like to think about that December 21st. It's not that far away, but we begin November with a new moon in Scorpio on November 1st. And that starts the pathway of this shadow work, transformation, of course, transmutation of our energy. Then we have a full moon on November 15th in Taurus. And I'm going to talk about the planetary aspects and the energy that we're going to experience in the entire month of November and why it's pushing us towards the end of the year. We begin to be indoors more this time of year. As the seasons change, we feel this need to hibernate, to rest, cuddle by the fire with a good book, might be even more of our normal routines. We'll continue to feel sweeping tides of transformation and internal healing, spiritual connection, and certainly deep enlightenment. There is continued movement and opportunity for us to step into our power, and that's part of the shadow energy and what Scorpio gives us in this month of November. November is generally known as the 11th month in numerology. However, November's collective numerology for 2024 is the number 10, and that symbolizes new beginnings, spiritual awakenings, and positive change. 10, or we could say the number 1, is also associated with karmic completion and fulfillment. And many of you are ready to be done with 2024. It's been one of those years we like to look behind and say, my goodness, thank goodness we're through this energy. And now what's ahead? This is the divine grace and the restoration of all things that the universe always gives us in the balance of change. This is also a time for divine guidance, leadership, status, and power. It can also be an exciting time or phase that we're faced with abundance and prosperity. Look, on a global standpoint, a lot of corporations are finalizing their end-of-year processes, their budgeting and planning for 2025. Of course, we've got the election here in the United States, but as humans too, we're beginning to wind down and start to talk about what's ahead in 2025, whether it's vacation, plans of change. This month will be marked by significant transformations, and that continues with our merging of timelines and the alchemy of the cosmos. We are entering an era of massive energetic shifts, not only on a spiritual level, but also within the political and the social realms as the structure of old world continues to break down, allowing for something new in the expansion or elevation of the cosmos to come in and bring new ways or new insights on how we can live. This is portals coming in. This is portal of the galactic center where Earth sits magically, but our point of access to the supergalactic center, the great attractor, and of course the Shipley attractor. I did a sound healing session for my friend, mentor, and fellow healer, and Ashtar showed up. Now, Ashtar is a commander of the higher dimensions. I say sometimes I see him or he expresses he's in the 6th dimension, sometimes in the 24th. But the voice of the galactic force's presence tells me there is more ahead we need to be aware of. I've been talking a lot, and I mean a lot, about our mental processes, our compasses, and everything's shifting and everything's evolving so we can learn more and lean more into better or more self-sustaining mental processes that are simply going to support us better as we go forward. But this is also alignment to the wisdom of the universe, the modern knowledge and the insight of what's going to cascade us or catapult us forward. This dismantling of old patterns and knowledge and wisdom can feel incredibly unsettling, stirring up internal responses. And again, our cellular structure of releasing generational habits. But as we navigate the collapse of outdated systems and paradigms, we're always given new programs and new codes and new ways of navigating into the future. We're still adapting to the heightened frequencies of collective consciousnesses as we integrate deeper truths into our energy fields. And while the universe is open, there are even more gateways that come to us. Authenticity is the key at this time, shedding illusions and aligning more fully with our true selves. And of course, always being open to the opportunity and the possibility of change. The shift from Scorpio season intensity and introspection and that shadowy going deep into our souls really blends into equally charged, intense energy as we move from Scorpio season into Sagittarius season later in November. The universe is desperately attempting for us to see the truth. Sagittarius's energy is I aim. It's telling us to look at ourselves and the world and not sugarcoat things, not wish for it to be something that it's not, to look at it as it is for what it is, not tell a story for what we'd like it to be, but look at what it is. Scorpio provides the energy for penetrating deep and focusing on transformation through shadow work. Sometimes we don't like to look at that depth or those shadows, but the energy is going to push us to go there. And for those open and ready to take on that underworld, to look at the depths of your psyche, urging you to confront the hidden aspects of yourself and society, that's where the healing can happen. Do you want to look, or do you look away? Ask yourself that question. Looking at it doesn't have to be so hard, but looking at it means you're willing to understand it, or at least to attempt to understand it, and then possibly heal it. On the other hand, Sagittarius offers the promise of freedom and growth and optimism, encouraging us to broaden our horizons and achieve greater goals. Sometimes we have to work through that shadow energy before we can get onto those goals and aim for something different. The energetic shift is challenging us to balance our emotional depths that we've explored with a forward-looking perspective, new thoughts, new beliefs, and certainly new practices that can propel us to explore new possibilities while integrating what we've learned. Now, there are positive themes to the shadow energy and the themes of November. The possibilities are overcoming anger and any emotional triggers that you've been experiencing, not just in this month, but maybe for quite a while. It's a time for increased issues and topics about technology to rise to the surface to be resolved. It's about gaining intelligence, experiencing peace and harmony, and approaching this with ease, not with force. This is a time also that we're questioning lack of authority, unfair laws, opposition, and competition. It's a time also where we are experiencing rebellion, some fear of change, rejection, and maybe on some lines, the absence of receptivity. It's a great time for artists and writers and painters because of creative energy that comes in. And it's perfect time for transforming habits to overcome lingering health issues, such as chronic fatigue, migraines, stomach issues, and more. And many of you have been experiencing that over this year. The feeling of, I don't have enough energy, or where is my energy? This is a time to shift into a time of expanding your energy or getting to the depths of what might be happening in your physical body. Let's look at the month of November from a energy standpoint of how the planets are going to be interacting with us. I mentioned that on November 1st, we have a new moon in Scorpio, and the new moon actually closes the eclipse portal and that wormhole passage of 2024. Scorpio energy itself is about diving beneath the surface, uncovering what's been hidden, and embracing transformation. And so during this new moon, we have a chance to confront our subconscious, to illuminate our own personal villains and how we look at those energies around us. It's making way for renewal. As we bring structure and discipline to this deep work, the moon forms a harmonious trine to Saturn. Now, the lingering square to Pluto's, Scorpio's ruler, makes us confront any power struggles, confront our fears, confront those control issues that maybe are hidden, that we didn't know were there. Its energy is reminding us of the need to surrender and let go and release of what no longer serves us. Now that sounds like something we'd say during a full moon, but the new moon is pushing us to plant seeds of visionary intention, seeds that envision not just small changes, but dynamic transformation from what was to what could be. Now is not the time for small surface level changes. Some of you might also be feeling, I don't want this surface conversation. I want big, I want depth. Well, Scorpio requires us to dig deep, to go to that depth, and metaphorically to gut the house that we're stuck in to rebuild from within. The presence of this powerful force will shatter anything superficial, paving the time and the way for true lasting change. Energetically speaking, you simply won't have time to play in the surface stuff. You're going deep. We will not experience the life-changing rebirth that awaits us in the void if we hold on to the unknown. If we hold on to fear, hold on to the past or what it was or what we think it should be, the life-changing rebirth that is coming into us continues to escape. Power comes from trusting the process without needing physical proof of success and not needing to know every single little detail. There is a plan out there and the universe holds that plan and you're being guided to walk that plan. Be open to that. November 2nd, Mercury enters Sagittarius, and this is about expanding our minds and seeking truth. For me, clarity comes in. Why have my angels and guides been talking about this mental compass and expanding our minds for months? To me, it seems like months. Well, this trine to Mars heats things up when Mercury's energy enters fiery Sagittarius. This inspires an expansive and actually an adventurous shift in our mental energy. So the planets are creating this opportunity for us to be open and test our mental capacity. Our minds are being pushed beyond the ordinary to embrace a broader perspective and aim for something different. Sagittarius is the truth seeker. We are looking for the truth, and this is the time for elevating our thoughts, tapping into higher wisdom, and integrating physical and spiritual lessons. This allows us to let go of the karmic cycles of old belief systems, philosophies, and dramas that just don't belong in our lives. This allows us the time and the space and the energy to step into new spiritual terrain with purpose and clarity, with an open mind, and we can cultivate inner truth and wisdom that align with our higher selves by harnessing the fire of Sagittarius. Now, Mercury is also set to retrograde later in November, and we all hear about the fearful tactics around when Mercury's retrograde. Don't overcommit to get swept up in the search of answers. I know that's a mouthful. Just be grounded. The quest for knowledge can sometimes make us overly idealistic or dramatic, so be careful not to dismiss others' viewpoints. But more importantly, stay grounded. Be centered. Don't get wrapped up in the minutia of fear or data or information that simply is not true. Now, November 3, Mars enters Leo. That's really about activating the solar codes of courage, passion, and cosmic sovereignty. Mars enters Leo on November 3rd after its opposition to Pluto. So what all that means is it's igniting this powerful cycle that fuels our actions, our relationships, and our ambitions. Leo wants to be out there, front and center. And Mars is the warrior, wanting to push. So there's a lot of push in this major transit as Mars will eventually retrograde in this sign from December until February of 2025. This is calling for deep recalibration. If you've been listening to my podcast, you've been hearing that term of we are recalibrating our mental processes, our compasses, Our drive is infused with passion and courage and purpose, and we'll feel a deeper need to assert ourselves and express our personal identity and navigate challenges that we face in order to reach the goals that we've now newly set. This energy empowers us to take bold actions, but they're rooted in love, and they're rooted in strength, and they're rooted in truth and authenticity. These energies are not rooted in fear and hate. And there's going to be a lot of that thrown around us. Just don't get wrapped up into it. At a deeper level, Mars in Leo asks us to examine how we approach power and passion in relationships, in our family dynamics, in business connections, and certainly how we make financial decisions. Are you acting from ego or conscious love? You've had some great tune-ups in that space of your emotional compass and your mental processes, and now you get to practice it. Leo is ruled by Venus, and this influence asks us to open our hearts and act with generosity, integrity, and self-respect. This energy can help strengthen bonds within relationships, creating more harmony by encouraging honesty and courage and expressing our desires to others without rolling over the top of their desires. At this time, family matters can be healed when old conflicts are brought to the surface. And some might feel like it's in confrontation because there's this passion of Leo and this openness that Venus is giving us. But Mars in Leo encourages us to pursue our goals with determination and encourage that our goals align with our core values. And part of our core values are love, peace, calm, happiness. It is to accomplish our goals through work, love, and certainly alignment, not manipulation, struggle, power, and not at the expense or the detriment of others. There will be a significant time of deep collective healing during this period, as Mars opposes Pluto and trines Chiron, the wounded warrior. This opposition to Pluto will challenge us to face the shadows of control, power struggles, and buried fears, while the trine to Chiron opens a path for inner child healing. So all this means is we have an opportunity. It's a gateway and a portal for us to heal those things or those places that we felt that we've been under power or under control, and those places that we maybe haven't had a voice, maybe our inner child or those hidden things that we experienced. This is a chance to break free from those cycles of pain and become more aware when ancestral patterns and karmic wounds come to the surface. Not blaming yourself for what you're experiencing, but understanding them and working through the healing process of that will help expand your consciousness and help you gain a better understanding of your true purpose. When something comes up that you don't like, heal it. Don't whine about it. Don't become the victim. Don't hide from it. Don't run from it. Don't try to push it away. Heal it. That's the energy that we're in. I'm going to jump ahead to November 11th. It's a huge gateway. Venus enters Capricorn, and this is about manifesting unconditional love. Venus has been pretty active, I would say this month, but I think that it's been pretty active all year. This energy encourages us to make decisions related to others, and managing money becomes a little bit easier when Venus is in this Capricorn energy. During this transit, we're encouraged to make decisions based on integrity, respect, and long-term commitment. And if you haven't noticed a theme, the theme has been integrity, respect, long-term commitment or long-term vision, truth. And thanks to Capricorn's practical approach, any challenges that once seemed impossible become easier to navigate. And when it comes to relationships, Venus in Capricorn calls for serious, committed attitude. This is a time to focus on building strong foundations and deepening connections with those who align with our values. It is not about fleeting connections. It's about creating lasting bonds based on trust, mutual respect. There it is again. And Capricorn's energy reminds us that love, like any worthwhile endeavor, requires effort and dedication. Sometimes we just want to sit back and let the world spin around us. This is not the energy we're in. We need to be part of it, but we need to be responsible in being part of this energy. Venus also clears fears and insecurities and allows us to move forward confidently and clearly in our relationships and our personal goals. It's really time to get serious about love. Get serious about your purpose, ensuring everything that you reflect upon and your deepest values are aligned to your long-term intentions. Fully commit to your higher calling. Align your thoughts, your actions, and emotions with what truly matters. And if you don't know what truly matters, spend some time in internal, quiet contemplation. Tap into, plug into your higher self. Let's jump ahead to November 15th, where Saturn turns direct. This is also a full moon in Taurus. It is a powerful full moon. I feel like I'm saying that every single month because they feel more powerful each and every month as we march towards the end of the year. But Saturn, he's known to be the Lord of Karma. He turns direct in Pisces on November 15th. And the themes at this time will be around communication, learning, expressing ourselves. And Saturn's shift forward signals that lessons learned regarding boundaries, responsibilities, and even spiritual development need to be applied. The planet Saturn will continue its journey through Pisces, reminding us to integrate our wisdom and apply it to our everyday lives. Now, Saturn has been sitting retrograde in Pisces. So what is different is its forward movement. So anything that we've been learning this last months are now being represented or being brought out into the world. The Taurus, the full moon, brings powerful grounding energy. This is the moon's favorite place. So this full moon offers a very nurturing, stabilizing force that fosters space of abundance, security, and emotional balance. And we need that. Taurus's energy is all about embodying what feels good, what makes us feel like we're at home, how we feel secure and harmonious, and what brings our full attention to our sense of self. Most importantly, it's the relationships. However, this full moon, the interaction with Uranus, will create some sudden and shocking events or revelations that could disrupt our comfort zones. When I first looked at this planetary layout, I thought, well, Uranus is going to bring those sudden change, but Taurus helps to calm that energy. But what I'm feeling is that we need to be aware and just be fluid as this change comes to us, because we've got this Neptune watery overlay that just brings some foggy energy on top of all this. And I think that's going to require us to use our intuition. So the clarity, or what we think to know as true, may not be the truth. This isn't a bad time, as it really offers time for us to use our spiritual insights and break through our understanding of those deeper intuitive messages. Sometimes we depend on fact so much, or what we read or what we hear. And this is really going to be a time that those things might be a little bit muddled, so we have to pay more attention to our intuition. We're in the midst of a period of collective breakthroughs, of evolution and revolution that will shape the years to come. And we can expect the unexpected with this Taurus full moon. But we can also trust that these disruptions are catalysts for the massive shifts that we're going through on a personal as well as a global level. I remind people, in 2025, we have 5 outer planets that are changing signs. And so I'll be talking about that in 2025. But it tells me that we have huge changes ahead. The thoughts that we think really create our reality. And when we center our thoughts on love, we manifest love in all areas of our lives. And boy, we need that calm and that peace and that energy of love now. Our role as light workers is to hold sacred space for this vision and this usage of love. Regardless of any chaos or fear in our environment, we can discipline our minds and our hearts to align with the consciousness of love. That is your birthright. No matter what is happening external, you have the ability to focus inward and to plug in to that vibration of love. The consistent practice of choosing love over fear really creates fertile ground for your highest potential to manifest. You have the power to create your reality, and now really is a great gateway to fully step into that power, trusting that changes and breakthroughs that are ahead are part of the divine plan for new or more aligned reality. Now, November 19th, Pluto, that's that planet of death and rebirth, enters Aquarius, activating the cosmic blueprint for this new era of evolution that I've been talking about for quite some time. In the last year or so, Pluto has moved in and out of the first degrees of Aquarius and the last degrees of Capricorn. So Capricorn has the archetype of I use. So it's constantly pushing us to use the resources, the knowledge, the emotions that we have. And Aquarius is what I know. So that's pushing us to use what we know. But in this time of evolution and change, we continue to learn new things. And this is that time of using what we are learning new. Let go of the old, practice, and take action on what is relevant today. Now, Pluto makes this profound turning point that will alter both the collective landscape for our psyches, and with Pluto in Aquarius until 2043, there's really no turning back. We're done bouncing between this energy. It's going to be there in Aquarius for 20 years. Now, Aquarius is a great innovative sign. It's collaboration, it's teamwork, it's technology and science. On a personal level, Pluto's transit through Aquarius demands us to look internally. It's almost like an internal revolution, challenging us to confront the aspects of our identity that are tied to old systems, to old powers, old control, and old limitations. And this is where that Chiron, that healing of those ancestral wounds really have a chance to surface and be healed. You might be tired of healing. Sometimes I say, declare those things to be done. This is the mental processes and the beliefs and the actions that we've outgrown, that you get to declare, like, I am done thinking about this. I'm done acting this way. I'm done, whatever you want to declare. It's a death and a rebirth that's occurring. And as we collectively shift, we are called to embrace a psychological transformation, one that pushes us to detach from ego-driven narratives and step into higher consciousness that is aligned with community growth and innovation and societal changes. That is part of the Aquarius energy. It's a push to redefine our personal power, but how we use our personal power out in a more dynamic force field. It's also a time to reinforce any desires that you might be seeking for authenticity and freedom. So the alchemy will be required to release limiting beliefs, fears, and emotional baggage. And if you've been asking the universe to help you release those things, the universe will give you situations to release the things that you don't need anymore. Sometimes we are sad about relationships ending or jobs ending or things that are gone. But if you've been asking about change in your life, this is the universe's response to say, these things don't belong in your space anymore and they need to go. Pluto in Aquarius invites us to step into our future selves, one that is free, more aligned with our soul purpose, more connected with others. And Pluto's influence will dismantle old structures, which include financial structures, technology structures, media structures. Those things will be revolutionized. At a deeper level, this energy also demands that we revolutionize our relationship with our intimacy, with our power, and of course, how we view freedom. Long-held taboos may dissolve also in sexuality, leading to a more inclusive and liberated understanding of relationships. I see this as a result of this transit. The psychic transformation and rebirth are also expected. With each release of control, we co-create a new future, one of which we can reflect on the larger revolutionary changes occurring around us. So I look ahead, and I'm thinking by 2043, the outer world and our inner selves will have evolved into something entirely new. Now, November 21st, that's where we enter Sagittarius season. This is a journey of higher wisdom and galactic exploration. Sagittarius season is about expansion. This energy is now pushing us towards growth and exploring. It might not be the areas you are thinking you want to or need to explore in. The season is like a ceremonial bonfire that burns away the shadows, the limitations, and the illusions. When these attachments are released, we become liberated and free and more clear-headed. And that allows the soul to aim for something different. That's where we transcend those old narratives and we open up to new horizons where anything is possible. Truth sets us free, and we create this world based on boundless potential. That's also part of the Aquarius energy. 3 themes stand out to me as I look at the season of Sagittarius. As we go into the latter part of November and into early December, it's about expansion, it's about freedom, and it's certainly about finding the truth, personal, internal, as well as external. And whether you're learning, exploring, or growing personally, it is the perfect time to broaden your horizons. A strong focus is placed on breaking free of limitations. Anything that is holding you back, you're being encouraged to live more authentically and independently, developing your spiritual and intellectual understanding and exploring ideas that transcend everyday concerns is really important. This galactic exploration is representative of look beyond what you know today. Be open to the possibility of something coming to you that you didn't see coming in an expansive way. Now, November 25th, this is when Mercury turns retrograde. And this is about communication. It is going to give us a little bit more time to take everything that we've been experiencing up to this point and point it more internal. It's one of these internal planets that truly gives us an opportunity to self-learn, to observe how we are in present-day situation. It's a period of deep introspection and realignment and upgrades. We often think that those things come external to us, but we can upgrade our internal processes by simply observing and aligning to, why am I acting this way in this situation? Why am I having this response? What does this mean to me? It's those self-evaluation, self-assessments. And during this particular retrograde, the focus really turns inward, asking us to reassess your beliefs, reassess your communication patterns, how you talk about your beliefs, reassess your habits, how you take action on things, or maybe you have some actions that you aren't even aware that you're taking that need to change, how you pursue and share truth. Sagittarius is about what we aim for. So this retrograde in this area may mean how we talk about what we're aiming for also might get a total revamp. An opposition between Mercury and Jupiter may cause us to question the balance between positivity and practicality. And that squares to Saturn and Neptune, and that just reveals where illusion or rigid thinking might hinder our progress. We can't forget about Chiron spinning out there, which offers another opportunity for healing, especially in how we express ourselves and how we resolve our inner wounds. Are you shifting that to ownership and healing within, or are you still outwardly blaming another? What all this means is that the planets are in this nest area where the universe is showing us where we may hold illusion and non-truth, where we might be restricted and held back, where we've held on to wounding of the past and are now ready to move beyond. And Mercury retrograde encourages you to put your self-expression and creativity into perspective. It asks whether you are truly aligned with your passions or if past fears and doubts are holding you back. It's in your mental processes. This is freedom and clarity. This is a time of empowering to reevaluate how you communicate your desires, how you communicate about yourself and your goals, and then remove any language or feelings or mental blocks that you have in those areas that you are creating your own roadblock. The lessons of this retrograde can help move you forward with so much confidence and clarity and becoming more authentic. Doing this work now positions you perfectly for going into 2025. Be aware of what's coming up for you, what's testing you to shift your thinking, your actions, and what your goals might be. You may feel the need to remain in or inward, not wanting distraction or not wanting the noise of influences that are external, those places and those things that no longer have a place in your life. Take time to breathe, to appreciate the present each moment brings, the lessons, the opportunities that the universe is delivering now, and remain open to all the blessings that this month brings. I'm Lori Wondra of Your Life Core, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Messages from the Universe podcast with Lori Wondra of Your Life Core. For current events or to schedule a private session with Lori, please visit yourlifecore.com.